Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open to business here, and let's wake up those football gods here this morning. Hope everybody's doing good on this Taco Tuesday. That's right, it is Taco Tuesday, and I can't wait. I got to make me some tacos. I've been missing out on my tacos. I've been so busy that I haven't really been doing a whole lot of cooking and stuff except for game day. Although it doesn't look like I've missed too many meals, I haven't. I've been eating crap. But once the season's over, I'm going to get back on my keto diet and try and get back into shape again, only to have, of course, that food debauchery that is the NFL season come starting in August. You know, I am so truly blessed. Nick Capps, he's a Washington football fan, and he's actually a tailgate member. He gave me this pig on the skewer. Well, it wasn't on the skewer. He gave me this pig at the tailgate there, and I specifically put the pig on the skewer there for him, and noticed that he was not there Sunday night along with the Washington football team because they literally didn't show up. And I saw Nick last night on the live stream and said, "Hey, Nick, where were you? What happened, man? Did you chicken out from watching the game?" He said, "No, I was actually in the hospital getting checked out because of some chest pains and had a heart attack a couple of years before." And I said, "I hope you didn't watch the game because that would definitely have given you a heart attack if you were a Washington football fan." But fortunately, he's fine. And in the mail yesterday came a package for me from Johnny White, something that I hope will actually be obsolete or something that we can add to this collection. I like I said, I am truly blessed with so many of you because when you look around the set in the studio here, so many pieces here are because of you guys. You know, Miss Jackie, Miss Anita are always sending me sweatshirts and sweat jackets and things like that. She's giving me the Cowboy tissues, although I've cried them all out. I used up all the tissues and things. And of course, there's Joseph Heatherly, who sent me the prop pistol that's over there and the football gods and things. There's so many pieces. There's Susie and Fernando that gave me Joe Bear over there and stuff. So I am grateful for all of the wonderful things that people have given me, and they find a place in the man cave here. Some people like to call it the Smithsonian of Cowboys paraphernalia. I realize that in the very near future, I'm going to need to get a bigger man cave. But this came yesterday, and it's unbelievable. This is freaking insane from Johnny White. And I'm hoping, because this is, let's see if you guys can see this. Okay. Let me change cameras. This, look at that. Super Bowl medallions, a set of 5. This is truly freaking incredible. Look at that. For each one of the Super Bowls. What I'm hoping is that we get that number 6. This is going to go over into the corner cabinet over there with the Cowboys stuff that I've had. That is, or the stuff that is just irreplaceable. Well, actually, all this stuff is irreplaceable. But that's going to have a place of honor over in that cabinet. Shout out to you, Johnny White. But I'm hoping that we need to get another medallion. And I don't know if that's going to be possible or not. But then again, the NFL sells everything. Believe me, they will sell their mama if they can get the right price for it. And if we are a team that can go to the Super Bowl, or even when you look at the success that this team has had this year, you have to point to two things more than anything else. We've always had a great offense for the last 10 years, 10, 20 years. We've always been a top 10 offense. It's been the defense, although we've had a couple of defenses that were pretty good. The 2007 season was a good one. 2014, we were second in taking the football away. About 19th in points, but we did a good job, but it wasn't still quite good enough to be a Super Bowl defense. I was talking about Dan Quinn last night and how good of a coach he was. And now what happens so many times when you listen to ESPN and most of the shows, I need to move this camera just a little bit. I'm sorry. When you listen to the talking heads and the shows, so many times, it's revisionist history. You know, we're one take, right? We take the stuff in one take because I don't have enough time. And actually, you can see the pistol and Joseph Heatherly actually better in the shot there in the case. So many people were saying now on ESPN, oh, well, we knew Dan Quinn would improve the defense. Dan Quinn, he's a great hire for the Cowboys, and that's what was expected. And fortunately, one of you great fans sent me an email with this clip. Now, you cannot show first take on camera. If you do, it will be blocked. But I think I can get away with the audio because this was Stephen A. Smith talking about Dan Quinn being hired.
Is a good hire for the Cowboys at D.C.
I doubt it. And listen, I'm not the one to call about supportive words for Dan Quinn, only from this perspective. He, as the head coach, presided over one of, if not the dumbest play that I have seen in the modern football era, where an onside kick is aimed at the Atlanta Falcons, and they treated it like it was a punt. They literally, you're not one, not two, not three. You had 6 different guys that didn't know the rule. 6 different guys. Just an absolute abject embarrassment, okay? And they lost that particular game 40-39 after being up by about 14 points with less than 5 minutes of the game. It's just an atrocious situation. Mm-hmm. Having said all of that, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, there's really not much way to go but up. You're the 28th ranked defense overall. You were second to last against the run. We all know that. They gave up 39 to the Falcons, 38 to the Seattle Seahawks, 49 to the Cleveland Browns, 34 to the hapless New York Giants offense, by the way, 38 to...
mind you, as he goes through the list of those points that the team gave up, and people will say that Dak Prescott was trash and we lost because of Dak, I want you to think about those points numbers. 49 to the Cleveland Browns. 49.
Arizona, that was 5 straight weeks they did that. 5 straight weeks in the National Football League, okay, which they started off 2-4. They ultimately ended up giving up another 41 to the Washington football team on Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. That's just funny to me. They gave up 41 on Thanksgiving, okay?
Well,
they gave up 34. Thanks. They gave up 34 the next week to Baltimore. They gave up 33 to the San Francisco 49ers. They were putrid. So when you look at it from this, listen, there's no way to go but up. Dan Quinn certainly knows something about football. There's some people that aren't meant to be head coaches, but I'm not going to sit up there and knock him for being a coordinator. He's got a good reputation as a coordinator. He's no Mike Nolan, who had the 31st ranked defense in Atlanta in 2014, couldn't get a job ever since until Mike McCarthy grabbed him from the scrap heap. This is not Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn knows football. Dan Quinn had a stellar reputation as a defensive coordinator. And if he ends up in Dallas, I have no problem with it. I'm just saying that was the location of one of the dumbest plays in NFL history. And he was the head coach that presided off of that. But in the end, I can't knock it. I just think that there's a black cat running around. And no matter who goes there, they go to Dallas to get their reputation smeared. No matter how good they look elsewhere, when they come to Dallas, they never look better.
I think it's a good hire. I do think it's a good hire. And let me just say that he was the defensive coordinator, for the Legion of Boom. He won a Super Bowl and went to another Super Bowl and did a very good job. Now, he had name brand guys on that defense who were indeed star players, not just in name star players. Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman and those guys, Earl Thomas, were studs, right? Who does he have right now in Dallas? Well, actually, Dallas has some name brand guys. The problem is they haven't played that way in the last year or two. When you look at Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith, Stephen A., it wasn't that long ago I thought that's the best linebacker tandem talent-wise maybe in the league. No, they're not. DeMarcus Lawrence, is a name brand guy who's had some excellent NFL seasons, but they weren't performing up to snuff this year. Is that because they suddenly lost their talent, or is that because of the defense itself, the defensive coordinator? And also, the defense clearly lacks depth, too. They need to focus on that. I think that Quinn has a history of getting the most out of talent. So whatever is there on Dallas, I think he'll get the most out of. Also, Dan Quinn's reputation as a head coach. Now, look, I get it. The Atlanta offense was high-flying until they don't have the same offensive coordinator, and then not so much. Yeah, I get that. But he went from defensive coordinator of the dominant unit in the NFL that went to 2 Super Bowls and won one, to head coach of the dominant offense in the NFL that went to a Super Bowl. And yes, they had a spectacular collapse in order to lose, but that's what it took for them to lose. He were in another Super Bowl. Dan Quinn has a track record of success, in fact. And too often, I think, we focus on where he came up short, but look at his track record. He's been very successful. I think he's a good hire for the Cowboys.
All right, so Max, of course, says, he thinks it's a good hire. Of course, Stephen A. joked him and says, well, the Cowboys, of course, they got nowhere else to go but up. The thing that's interesting about that, and I play that because it's just when you think back, there weren't a lot of Cowboy fans that were on board with getting Dan Quinn. We heard people saying, oh, here we go. Another retread, another bum that the Cowboys done gotten, and so on, and just pissed off. But see, here's the thing, because people will look back and they'll say, well, Dan Quinn had great talent, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman. Or was it that Dan Quinn found those guys and got the most out of them? There's a difference. Because there's a lot of guys out there with a lot of talent, but coaches don't necessarily get the most out of them. I can say when you had Steve Young in Tampa Bay, they thought he was a bust because that coaching staff couldn't get out of him what they were able to in San Francisco, where he became a Hall of Famer. And I believe Dan Quinn, when we started out the season, as we put it, Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch were the name guys. Diggs, yeah, he had a good rookie season with 4 interceptions. But who saw Diggs being better than Richard Sherman in interceptions? Because the best year Richard Sherman had twice was 8 interceptions. He's got 11. And as much as people wanted to get Micah Parsons, who saw Micah Parsons being this good after not playing the year before in college? It's Dan Quinn. Stupid. It's Dan Quinn being the fundamental teacher, evaluating the talent that he sees that he needs to make this defense go. And when we start thinking about defensive MVP, as crazy as it is, and Bad Dog, you can still be pissed off because I know this season has to piss you off. It has to piss you off. But I'm still going to go back to the comparisons that I started weeks ago about Lawrence Taylor, because we have not seen a player in the NFL that has been so dominant like this, like Micah Parsons. I'm not equating their whole career. That would be stupid to say that Micah Parsons is, in fact, Lawrence Taylor. Body of work. I'm only talking about the impact of the rookie season. And when you look at these numbers right here, shout out to Pro Football Focus, grades among all linebackers, it's not rookies, linebackers, he's first in their grading at linebacker at an 84.8. He's first in pressures and first in sacks. Now, as far as tackles goes, I think Bobby Wagner leads with like 146 or so. And that's because their team can't get off, the defense can't get off the field. So he's out there a lot, getting a lot of tackles, basically because their team's ass. And he's a great linebacker, and he's also a full-time linebacker. Micah Parsons has, I think, 76 tackles, which isn't great for a linebacker. It's really good. But considering he is only a part-time linebacker, I still look at this and say he has to be defensive MVP. Because let's take another look here at another set of statistics here. These are sacks in the NFL. There's a lot of buzz between T.J. Watt, who, of course, has 17.5 sacks, didn't get any this past week, being the defensive MVP. And second on that list is Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, they say, according to Vegas odds, is number 2. And, of course, I have to let the dog in. Hold on. Simba's doing a little bit better and is able to go down the steps, but can't go back up the steps. So that's actually a good sign for him to be able to come down the steps in the backyard, but he's going to be at the door here waiting to get in, so I'll have to carry him back upstairs, so forgive me. This, I know it's not professional, but this is YouTube. So here's the thing. Micah Parsons is second in odds by Vegas for MVP. T.J. Watt's got 17.5 sacks. Micah Parsons has 13, 1.5 sacks away from the rookie record. But I want you to understand here, when you look at the numbers, you've got T.J. Watt, who's basically a defensive end. You got Robert Quinn, who is a defensive end. Myles Garrett, who's a defensive end. Nick Bosa, who's a defensive end. And Trey Henderson, that's a defensive end. Micah Parsons playing middle linebacker. T.J. Watt, Robert Quinn, they're not playing middle linebacker. They're basically an edge rusher, much like Charles Haley was. And you look at the numbers of tackles, solo tackles, T.J. Watt's got 40, right? Look down here at Micah Parsons with 60. Look at the total tackles for T.J. Watt, 54. Look at Micah Parsons, 79. And you look at the way the Cowboys defense has responded and changed. You can't say that there's anybody more valuable to a defense than what Micah Parsons has brought, except maybe Dan Quinn. In my mind, you've got to look at it. Now, the way I see it is if T.J. Watt breaks the all-time sack record, you got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. But if you have Micah as a linebacker / part-time edge rusher who's 6th in the NFL in sacks, if he ends up beating the rookie record of 14.5, it's got to go to Micah Parsons. It's got to. End of story. Because you're talking about a team that currently has 11 wins. You're talking about a team whose defense has turned completely around. You're talking about a team that has currently 5 more wins than they did last year. And you can talk about this team who for some games have been led by their defense. And all of that points to Micah Parsons. So we're going to end this morning's situation here. Can the Cowboys go anywhere and win?
Over real quick, Rod, to this defense. This Cowboys defense, the pass rush that continues to form. You've been talking Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year, virtually the entire season. Randy Gregory turned into a leader, you said, in the pregame. Lawrence comes back. How special could this group be when they put together this playoff run?
I think the only thing that was really holding them back was health. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean, we know about him. We know his skill, his athleticism, and what he can bring. I mean, he's a $100 million dude, and he showed you exactly what he's capable of doing when he's healthy. Randy Gregory, I've really been impressed with him. For a guy that's had a checkered past, he comes back. He becomes a leader. He's a big part of what they're trying to do. You see DeMarcus Lawrence and the speed and athleticism, and this is what he's capable of doing when he's 100% healthy. But I love the defensive line. Look at the defensive line, man. Their penetration, and then when you add a 5th rusher in Micah Parsons and create that one-on-one matchup inside against the guards, you can't stop this. That's why I say I am a big believer in the Dallas Cowboys. They can go anywhere in the National Football League and win a playoff game.
And Hot Rod made some headlines. He made some waves in the pregame saying this is a team that can go to the Super Bowl. This is a team that can go to Tampa and win. This is a team that can go to Green Bay and and win. Who knows? They may still end up being the 1 seed.
Where's the weakness? When you watch this, where's the weakness?
I don't see it. I just don't
Remember,
see it.
Remember, it used to be on defense. Is it the secondary? Is it the corners? Is it the linebackers? Where's the weakness?
Amari Cooper told us it's the deepest and most talented team that he's ever played on. In the depth and talent is what keeps showing up. Chris Sims, do you see any weaknesses when you watch Dallas play tonight?
I don't, not at all. I mean, I think you guys kind of hit the nail on the head as far as I look at it. Did I question maybe they played too much man-to-man? Are they going to get up too many big plays in the pass game? But it doesn't really matter when the defensive line's healthy and has depth. It just has so many fresh and talented bodies to continually throw at you throughout the course of the game that they cause problems. And then, of course, some of those DBs who are maybe do play too much man-to-man, they don't have to play that long. So I don't look at see many issues with their football team altogether. I really don't. I'm with Rodney in I think the Dallas Cowboys could get to the Super Bowl. I do. If you look at it and you just throw it out to me, I'd go, well, the Cowboys have more talent on their football team than the Green Bay Packers, who are the #1 seed team in the NFC right now. And I think Rodney's right in the fact that you can run the ball, you got playmakers, and you got a defensive line and an offensive line. That usually translates to winning on the road in the playoffs in NFL football. So I'm with you. The thing we just saw, though, hey, I'm glad we saw the passing game kind of start hitting on all cylinders again. Dak was certainly off. I think Kellen Moore kind of lost his way to a degree, and you heard CD. They were making some mistakes across the board. But, man, the way they look tonight, the way they've looked the last few weeks, it's just continually gotten a little bit better. And, I'm with you, Jack and Rodney. I think they're a real contender in the NFC for sure.
Chris, I'm with you too, man, as far as you giving props to Kellen Moore, because I was on Kellen Moore hard this week because I felt like all the talent that they have, all the skill set that they have, that Dak Prescott could be playing a lot better. And I thought he did a great job of just, changing up the tempo, hurry up offense, bootlegs, short intermediate passing game. They took some shots. I thought Kellen Moore Kellen Moore did a heck of a job with his play calling.
And you still get Tyron Smith back. I mean, that's the scary thing.
Yeah. All right. So shout out to Gina C, because Gina just sent me an update. Shout out in real time. The Joe Boo Sports Report. We keep you up to date with all the news. According to John Machada, BetMGM odds for Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt plus 200, Micah Parsons plus 225. He went from 400 down to 225. And if he gets another sack and TJ doesn't, I guarantee you that next week he will overtake TJ Watt as the defensive player odds-on favorite. But here's what's great if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan. The fact that third in the odds, tied with Aaron Donald, is Diggs. We have two players on defense. And mind you, I want you to understand that Diggs is the first player since Dion to make it to the Pro Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys. It's been that long since we've had a dominant corner. I don't know why we don't hear about, a shutdown corner with Diggs, because literally you can't throw on the guy. So with that being said, I'm getting a little late start here today. But it's all good because we got all day to bring you great news on the Dallas Cowboys. And Johnny White, appreciate it. Like I said, I have so many great fans. I've got the banner that's autographed by Tom Landry. I've got the the football that's signed by Tom Landry. I've got so many different pieces here. They're not mine. I don't take ownership of it. This is all our stuff and our place to be. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And with that being said, it's time to go to work.
Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.